Hello, everybody, to Drawn to Us, a podcast with a profile picture drawn by where we draw ideas from us to draw you in. So it's probably going to be one of the last episodes you'll ever hear before we disappear forever and start a new podcast. But that's besides the point. I'm glad to be joined by Heck, how was your past few weeks? You've been to Germany, so pretty terrible, I must presume.
You have no idea. All right. Well, first of all, for summary, I didn't do much. Blah blah blah. Visited Germany, saw some family, picked up some packages that I had delivered there. What was that?
What?
How
Nothing.
dare you interrupt? Point is, the most memorable part was actually like 2 days ago when I was just coming back from Germany. Like, the moment you cross the border, like I'm telling you, like there's a gas station at the border from Germany to Switzerland, and it's a miracle, you know. Everyone's happier, everyone's smiling. I've mentioned this a million times before, but it's like day and night. It's amazing. Anyways, that was my week. I went to Germany and it gave me greater appreciation for Switzerland.
Okay, and you're back with a new microphone, so we're finally not tortured by your popping piece anymore.
Oh yeah, look at this. I can get real close now, and you hear no. You hear that? Nothing.
Oh, disgusting.
Anyway, Simpy, how was your prudish week?
Yes. Simpy, tell us.
Did you just call him Simpy?
I just repeated what you said.
It's the worst.
I'm feeling attacked right now. So my week was terrible. I got attacked by these random internet hobos.
Excuse me, I'm not random. I'm very tired of my hate crimes.
You got attacked by hobos? What did you do?
Okay, yeah.
They're attacking me right now, Heck.
Oh my god. Wait, I get it now.
What else have you been up to?
Heck is tired. Okay.
I am tired.
Okay.
So that's what your week was like, tiring out Heck.
It really wasn't that eventful, aside from I'm re-listening to the Lightbringer series. I'm on book 3 now, and they're only getting better. Like, first book was great, second book was better, third book is great. I can't think of a word for it.
That's the usual order of how to describe things. It's good. It's even better.
Great. It was better, and it was
okay. So you've just been working and listening to mediocre books.
I haven't listened to a mediocre book in a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were at the very least mediocre. They're below it, and
what about you, Samsung? What you do?
A bunch of stuff, actually. I've not graduated uni, although I wish I would. I finished up my university program for the semester, so I finally got to plan ahead for my summer holidays and be ready to do all of the stuff I want to do. And then for the past 4 days, I've blatantly failed at my plans because I wanted to do various studying things for 8 hours a day, and it just didn't work out at all because I usually slept until 9 or 11. Currently, I'm very tired from whatever is going on.
You think you said?
Yeah.
Did you think you set your goals too high, or what's the issue?
No, I'm just sleeping too much, and then I'll start doing it tomorrow. To be fair.
Yeah.
Let's set my goals too high, I believe, unless it's about a Russian. But I should be able to do that. And then I've been catching up with friends. I finally managed to write my diary again past, I think, yesterday. Whoa. So that was really nice. And I'm really going to enjoy writing those, also as a way to motivate me. And finally, today, my significant other's cat came over, because the thing is, she's going to move to America for a month to visit her family.
The cat?
So maybe I should invite her. No, my significant other. Oh. And then I'm going to take care of the cat. So the question was, of course, do I cycle 30 minutes to town every single day and spend like an hour or two in a flat where I don't live? Or do I take the cat in with 3 other cats? And that's what we tried.
Have you ever seen that episode of Monk where the guy like dog sits his neighbor's dog and then he trains him to kill his wife?
I did not. That sounds disturbing.
I'm just saying you could totally do that with this opportunity.
I could, but I'm not gonna do it because the cat is very nice. So today we put her out in my room, and then we got our first home cat, and saw how they interacted. And initially, the new cat did not even realize there was another in the room, and my cat, a very big and fluffy one, just sat on my lap and was terrified of a cat half his size. And eventually, we got to see each other, stared at each other, sniffed, and started hissing. And my cat growled. So that went as well as expected. And so I'm going to be cycling to town for the next month, probably. The worst thing is, though, that my bigger cat eventually decided he had to mark my room. And by God, does that stink. So that's what I've been cleaning up.
It's a natural reaction.
God-awful smell. Talking about God. We're going to be talking about God.
That's the worst transition.
That is a great transition.
What the heck was that? I mean, Impy, you're the Christian here. Be offended.
Well,
he's going to be
partly
later.
I can't expect. I can't expect non-Christians to abide by Christian rules.
Impy, how dare you be respectful and kind?
I can ask them. I don't know if you had a plan for this, but Summer, before we start, can we define religion?
That's a fun little twist, you being the one to ask. Religion is when you use faith-based arguments to support... Religion is when you believe in something supernatural, is what I'm going to say here.
Really? Is that an official definition?
No.
Because ghosts?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I guess you can have a religion based around ghosts.
No.
You can, but does believing in ghosts make that a religion?
Watch me. Religion is the belief and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods.
That sounds actually cool. It is a way of seeing a superior being and worshipping it. That sounds good.
And that's what dictionary.com, Oxford Dictionary, some dictionary says that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, at its core, I mean, it's just like this social aspect of belief, I guess, right? You're in part of a religion, so you meet up with people of the same religion, and then you're like, hey, this god's pretty cool, and then the other person's like, yeah. You know what we should do to not piss off that god?
Split up religion here, but keep talking.
Yeah, and then you all sit together and you're like, hey, let's put down some ground rules of things that our God wouldn't want us to do. That if you do them, they won't be happy, and that's religion.
Okay. I'm gonna have to say you can be religious personally.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to share it, in my opinion. And the other thing is that there's two sides to religion. There is the spiritual side and there is the political side.
People get mad at that word.
Different definition. We've had your wonderful Oxford definition, which I'm going to use for the spiritual side. And on the political side, religion is a large amount of people who have common beliefs about the world, which are inspired by their faith. Right, so political religion is based on spiritual one.
I mean, a lot of people get kind of mad at that word, spiritual. It's like I know a lot of people don't like it when you refer to yourself as spiritual or spiritualist as opposed to somebody who adheres to a religion. I mean, you want to explore that before we get into the nitty-gritty of what you just said?
I don't care about those people. They know what I mean when I say spiritual, and it's not to demean anyone.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why do you think people feel demeaned by it? That's interesting, right?
People are very silly about words and how you call things.
Oh, yeah, sure. But what about spirituality? Is it the fact that it kind of lessens the importance, I guess, in their minds of a god?
Groups they don't want to be in, and it sounds very demeaning to people who think that religion is something bigger.
I suppose that's it. I mean, what do you think, MP?
So confused right now.
Hmm?
What about spiritual?
Is it because we're both speaking nonsense?
No.
I think so. There was some, like, Summer was saying something, and then Heck, you said something, and then
That's usually how the
just
podcast
kind
goes.
seemed a little
Kinda, yeah.
disjointed there.
Oh yeah, I zoned out and I heard the word spiritual. And I was like, I know what to say about this.
Okay, because that had nothing to do with the topic.
No.
Well, you go ahead and respond, MP. I'll bounce off.
He just said he wasn't quite sure what he's supposed to
I
respond
mean,
to.
MP,
Why are
you
you
respond to what
hanging like
someone said.
this? What kind of human are you? No, we were saying to define religion, there is two main courses. There is spiritual religion, which is when you believe in a superhuman power and you worship it. And then
Yeah.
there is political religion, which is when a lot of people believe in similar or the same thing and work together.
So, saying spiritual is the faith aspect, the belief aspect.
Yes.
Whereas the political, we'll call it that, the political aspect is how it's lived out. So your doctrine and your theology and how you're supposed to conduct yourself in everyday life.
I wouldn't even
as
say no. I'd have to say it's political one is only really there when there is a group of people. If you yourself just live based on your faith and whatever your faith tells you to do without interacting with other people about it, then I wouldn't call it political.
Okay, so we're talking about the personal versus sociological aspects of religion.
I can take that, yeah.
All right.
All right, so we're good with
Lead us into it, MP. I mean, you are the expert here, I think.
at being religious. Hopefully. I mean, I don't know, Heck. Are you religious? Because you told me you believe in things.
Religion is a funny word in this context. I don't think I'm religious because I
think
don't really believe in one God or another that much, you know. I mean,
Even
I'm
a
willing to accept that there are gods out there, you know, but I wouldn't worship or adhere to their rules or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? So I mean, would that make me religious or not religious? Because I do, you know, trust and believe.
You believe in a God, but you say, I believe in this God, I just don't care about its rules.
Mm-hmm.
Make you religious.
Is that a question, or did you say that makes me religious? I don't know. I don't think it makes me religious. What do you think,
Tyler?
Well, as per the definition, it's the belief and worship of a superhuman power.
Yeah, you're right.
So, as per the definition, no, and especially you would not. That would be a more personal aspect of religion. And then you said you wouldn't follow the rules, so therefore you wouldn't be a part of the political aspect of religion.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So, yeah.
Then I'll need another term for people who just believe in these supernatural things. How do we call them?
Pagans.
No, because you can still be a, for example, Catholic person who believes in those things. It's not mutually exclusive. And a pagan is somebody.
I've met a Christian witch before. That's pretty fun.
So I'll say for that one, I think we can call it spiritual.
Okay, yeah, we'll call it shamans because that's a fun word. So we've got shamans, we've got what's the other ones? Political faith and no, not political religion and faith. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, what I believe in personally is, you know, that there are certain things you can influence, but I don't believe that.
Yes, desks exist.
Well, I mean, for me, I always felt like that if I joined a religion, I'd kind of be like, hey, kind of almost like pushing my problems away in a sense, you know? It's like if as long as I adhere to these rules that are set out, you know, it's like this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, and stuff will work out fine. I don't really I mean, I don't know if this is the case because I'm not part of any religion or really try to be. But I feel like I'd be kind of cheating. I'd be adopting like grander issues of the religion and then solving those, and then my personal ones wouldn't matter as much anymore, I guess. And then I forget about them, and sure, I'll be happier, but I won't be the person that I perhaps set out to be. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I like it.
One part in specific is the idea that if you follow, well, at least with Christianity, I'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I haven't heard any other religions either. The idea that if you do follow the rules, everything will turn out well. That's nowhere in the Bible.
Is that bogus? Did I invent that?
No, see, it is a subset of Christianity. It's called prosperity gospel. It's basically follow God and you'll get whatever you ask for. You'll have perfect health. You'll have $1 million, etc. It's the kind of people on TV that say, donate to me and you'll be healed.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Essentially.
Well, from an outsider perspective, it just seemed that way. It's like you be a goody two-shoes in this religion and then you get into heaven. And heaven is eternal, yay, right?
Heaven is eternal, yes. But the goody two-shoes thing, I think that's more derived from Catholicism, but it's the exact opposite in the Bible. So it's not how you act down here does not determine your salvation.
Huh. So is that one of those?
It's consequences versus goals, is it?
I'm not sure. I'd have to unpack that a bit. But...
Well, I mean, is that the cutting point? But is that one of the cutting points between Protestant and Catholic Christians?
Yes, it is in a big area, because Catholicism has the whole do the rosary and go confess your sins to the priest and pray to saints, stuff that isn't doctrinally sound as per the Bible, I believe. So it has a lot of things where do this and you're good. That was the whole point of Martin Luther with the 95 Theses.
Yeah.
The beginning of Protestantism. It was a time when people were basically selling. The priests were accepting money to absolve sins and tell people they can get into heaven. So
sounds like a brilliant business scheme.
They made a lot of money, yes.
So I guess that's where most of my criticisms are based, I guess. It's because I don't really take that much time to separate, hey, which part is Catholic, which part is Protestant. It feels like, I don't know, how many people complain about this kind of stuff about Christianity, and think of Protestants while doing so. Because, I mean, it seems like you guys seem pretty modern, So I did some little upgrades.
I will say this, Catholicism is way, way, way more nuanced than what I just said. So it's not exactly a clear distinction of do this and you'll get saved as versus Protestantism where it's ask for salvation and you're saved.
Yeah.
It's way more complex than that.
No, we get it. Catholicism is bad and Protestants are good.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not sure the non-Christian outlook on it because I haven't been able to discuss it with that many people, but it's a large discussion inside the Christian community and many of the circles I run in where it's denouncing the prosperity gospel and works-based faith, which is what we call it, which is that you're saved by works, by what you do down here, by the fact that you are a goody two-shoes. That's something that we don't believe is sound and reasonable.
Why?
Well,
because it says it many times in the Bible that our acts down on earth are essentially worthless and that nothing we can ever do, because humans are basically piles of garbage. Nothing we can ever do.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, nothing we can ever do can ever match up to a standard that was set for us by the law and by Jesus.
And so, do you
Well,
agree
wait.
with that, or does your church agree with that? That humans are trash?
Well, that's not the word they use. They gotta be a little bit more politically
Wait, is that
correct
what
than that.
these people mean when I walk down the street and they get that megaphone in my face? They're like, "You're all sinners. You're all we're all gonna burn in hell." Is that what they mean?
It's the intent behind what they're saying, yes. Because humans are all sinners, like we've all sinned. So therefore, we are all sinners. And our sin separates us from salvation, from God.
Wait, so are you saying your faith is telling us that we're all screwed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the how do you get into heaven?
What are the good sides of your faith? Because for now it sounds like we are screwed and that's the end. And I'm sure there's got to be good parts.
We are screwed and that's the end? Who said that was the end? I mean...
Oh, so your faith could be overly simplified to we're screwed.
We're screwed and we need help. And there is help.
Very good.
People listening to this, I don't know if they can tell, but I'm Christian.
Are you?
Wait, what?
What?
Prove
Where's your cross,
in
dude?
every Bible.
I'll show you my Bible. I actually gave one of my Bibles to a friend, and my other one's around here somewhere. Humanity is messed up, and heck, you agree with that. I agree with that. It seems to be demonstrably
Why
true.
are you leaving me out here?
Do you believe that humanity is messed up?
It doesn't matter necessarily what I believe. I'm asking why you didn't ask me in the first place. I'm very offended now.
Because I'm asking what you believe.
Why
Do you think humanity's messed up?
Why didn't you want to ask what I believe?
Because I think I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. Do you think?
Well, then it's irrelevant what I'm going to say, isn't it?
Well, then...
See, this is exactly what Ippy was trying to avoid by not asking you.
I don't think you chose... What am I going to say, though? I'm really curious.
See, you have caveats. Lots of caveats.
I have fish eggs?
I don't think you would ascribe a single attribute to all of humanity, except for those that are tautologies. Would you?
Not many.
Would humanity is screwed up be one of them?
What do you mean screwed up?
There we go.
Does each individual...
With the fact that all humans are sinners, right? Everybody sins to a degree or another.
Okay, here's the thing. Screwed up as in we're in a bad position or we're bad people.
Bad people.
No.
There you go. All right, Summer disagrees. Impy, finish your point before you forget it.
Exactly.
Forget it.
What was my point? Humanity is screwed up. Humanity is screwed up. And
there's help.
That's not how we were made to be. And a whole lot of people, billions of people, recognize that there is something.
There's something afoot.
More. There's something else. It's not how they were made to be and meant to be. It's not how they should be. So they need something there to help them. And yes, part of it is that the punishment, essentially, for sin is basically eternal death, which a lot of people don't want to experience.
Wait, is it just simple death?
It's a bit more complicated than that, but hell is separation from God forever.
Did you just say dad?
No, from God. I never see my dad again.
I thought it was a really adorable part that his religion calls God dad. It would be so cute.
That would be cute. Yeah.
Wait, they do.
Oh, they say father. They don't say dad.
Well,
they say daddy.
Do you say dad?
It depends on the person. A lot of people, since the father father-child relationship is extremely prevalent, extremely emphasized. Father-child relationship is extremely emphasized with God the Father. A lot of people do feel comfortable in their prayers and whatnot, saying, "Dad, I need help," or some people say like "Daddy God." It's weird. I know. Yes, and Father,
Papa.
Papa. Yeah,
Papa.
I know people who say Papa too.
Aw. But that's cute. It brings in like the familiarity,
Yeah,
right?
that's the point, because that's what we're supposed to see God as a part of our family, as our eternal Father, as it were.
But doesn't that mean you're all related? Is that why you call yourself sisters and brothers?
Yeah.
Whoa, it's all coming together. See, I don't know about you. I don't want to be related to all of humanity.
Related in spirit. There's no race, no gender, no. Oh, there's another word in that verse. I forget it. Apologize.
No race, no gender, no height difference.
Exactly. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. So yeah. Did we go over? I think we went over my faith in that too, Summer.
I'm sorry, I was reading something.
Oh. Talk about multitasking.
How dare you, Summer?
Multitasking is a terrible thing.
Wait,
I
so
agree.
all right, so what happens when you die then according to Protestant belief?
Yeah, Protestant. Basically, if you've accepted Jesus as your savior, as the one who saves you from your own screwed upness, your sin, then you'll be going to heaven. Basically. And if you don't,
Otherwise,
there's a gray area in there, but we'll avoid the gray area because it's very complex. But otherwise, you're going to hell.
and what is hell here?
Eternal separation from God. So what does that mean?
Eternal, a long time of separation, of not being in contact with God.
Question. You mentioned that our actions on earth have very little bearing on what happens. So, do we have any opportunity to do anything after death? And if not, why not?
To do anything after death, as in
to change those things.
Oh, to change those things.
Obviously.
Because death is final.
Yes, but after death, you could either be in heaven and for whatever reason decide you don't want to be there anymore, be in the gray area and think, "Ooh, wow, I want to go to hell or to heaven," or you could be in hell and for fairly obvious reasons don't want to be there anymore.
What about the second coming and the that thing, the ascension, the revelation, what's it called, the Ragnarok, but for Christians? Armageddon. See, yeah. What about that? And then comes back and he kills all the demons.
I just want to know what. Yeah, no, that's good. A question. I like that.
What about then? It's basically as per the book of Revelation, the last book in the Bible. Revelation, Armageddon. Ah, dang it. I forgot the other word. It's when all the Christians are taken away.
Ascension.
No.
Rapture. It's the rapture.
The rapture. Yeah. Man, you know more about Christianity than I do.
Oh, snap.
It was the rapture, popularized by the TV show and book series Left Behind and movie. Is when the rapture happens, all the Christians are taken up, and then a whole bunch of stuff starts to happen. Armageddon.
Yes.
Diseases, plagues, famine, blah, 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 etc. Bad things. And then Jesus comes back, and at that time, we're told basically a new earth is made. No, wait, it wasn't New Earth. It was a New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem. Sorry. The earth is made perfect, basically.
That sounds nice.
It does. It does. I agree. But
that's the fact that obviously nothing's perfect.
questionable. But at that time, yeah, all the people who were in heaven, or we're all chatting around on Earth, and everybody believes in God. And actually, no, not everybody, because they still have free will at that time. And
Would we lose it later on?
we don't know.
So free will for now.
We don't know. But during apparently 1,000 years, I think it was 1,000. I'm pretty sure it was 1,000. Yeah, there's a millennium. First millennium on Earth, where everyone's just living their best lives. And then some stuff happens, etc., and it goes on, and New Jerusalem, and basically after Rapture, it's all perfect stuff, I think. But what was the original question?
Why can't we change anything after death?
I'm not sure, because that's the way it was set up.
Well, that sounds quite rude.
I think you'd have to ask a theologian for that. I mean, the basic answer I can come up with is we chose our position on Earth, and now there are consequences.
What about that time we tried to build a big tower to go meet God, and God was like, psych, now you all speak different languages?
That was a time recorded in the Bible, yes.
Well, I mean, why don't we do that again? I say round up all the people and build another tower.
Sorry, what was that, Summer?
I was just telling Heck we still do speak different languages, although it might surprise him.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure we understand each other enough to build another tower.
Yeah, we also understand physics enough not to do so.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what God is counting on. Idiots like you who think about physics and science. Here I am thinking about going up there and asking him all these questions in person.
You don't need to go up there to ask that, I think.
I just want a big tower.
Me too.
Sorry, are you guys compensating for something?
Sorry. I swear
Did you
to God.
all live on ground floors as children? Because what else could you be compensating for?
Yeah, I lived in the basement.
Oh.
Oh God. All right. Next
Your
topic.
Okay,
Okay.
next question. Yeah.
Political religion. And we're going to skip our first big question as to what inspires humans to believe or to be religious. Because it depends, and there's a lot of things. The main ways I see it is either there's a God thing that wants to be believed in, so it makes people believe, or there is no God thing, and then people believe because it makes working together easy and because it explains things they can't explain. And because it makes life nicer.
I think I go along with that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very boring. We're gonna be probably focusing on Christianity because you're our expert, and neither of us is a theology student, as you can tell from Heck and me.
How dare you?
Or even a religion expert. Okay, so you are a religion expert?
Yes.
Which religion?
Religion in general.
Our religion expert. Fascinating.
Well, I consider myself one.
Really?
Yes.
What a new thing we have learned today.
That sounds very weird the way we're talking right now. Okay. Influences on mankind over the centuries.
Art.
So, art is cool. Also war. War is not cool.
Yeah, but when's the last time we had a big war over religion?
I don't know. How about right now?
You know what? You make a fair point. Well, I mean, what would you wage to be more? I mean, how would the scale tip if you put war on one side and then all the art stuff on the other?
I'd say, yeah, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, it's not like the two aspects of life influenced by religion are only war and art.
No, they are. Screw every other part.
I think every single aspect of our lives has been influenced by religion.
Yeah, through war and art.
Science.
Yeah. Science and war, science and art. Science and art is actually very close.
Basically, the first scientists were all religious.
Yeah.
W.
I know. I really enjoy the interplay between religion and science. So on one hand, religions get people to work together, be in large groups, and work towards a goal. And on the other hand, religions suppress the ideas that differ or that directly try to challenge and or destroy their core beliefs and their core essential sayings. So they do absolutely help along science, but only as long as it doesn't go against them, which I don't quite enjoy.
Well, as you said, do we want to go into that? Because that could be.
Do you?
I mean, it could. It'd be.
It would be interesting to see what religion has done more good or more bad overall for humanity. And I'd have to say, regardless of that, we can't live without religion.
We can't live without what?
We're so many people, and so many people couldn't live or have achieved the things they did without religion to guide them and to form certain groups.
That's a fun way to look at it. Because without religion, I probably wouldn't have had a cynical outlet when I.
Oh, that was your school hack.
But still, I mean, where would you target all that negativity if not at religion?
Pardon me?
Where would you target all that negativity if not at something, right? And if I didn't have religion, maybe I would have been one of those evil drug kids. Ooh.
Tali, you wanted to say something too.
What?
Maybe something more sensible than being a drug addict because there is no religion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think religion is necessary for humanity to continue as it is. That's the whole entire point of things like Taoism, a lot of the Eastern philosophies, and all the like Stoicism and the other ones that existentialism.
Yeah,
all these other schools of thought, that deal with behavior and how you should act,
utilitarianism,
fear of the afterlife, and etc. Like all of those things deal with the exact same problems and issues that religion deals with. So religion's way more widespread, and it'd be a lot harder to get rid of if it could be gotten rid of. But I don't think religion per se, belief in a supernatural power, is entirely a necessity for humanity to evolve.
I'm gonna say not anymore. So we are, as far as I'm aware, every year turning away from religion and turning more towards other things. If I've got it correctly, there's less and less people interested in religion worldwide. And that obviously agrees with your point, so I'm also going to do that. I'm saying that all of these things we have today, they're based on religion, and we couldn't have gotten to this point without religion. So we have definitely needed it over the past millennia, and we might be turning away from it now, but I still hold it in high regards for how far it has brought us, even though I'll have to look at it from both sides, because obviously it's not really good either, religion.
Well, I mean, religion has evolved a bunch. I mean, it's becoming more accepting, right? And wasn't it the Pope who's like, yay, gay people are cool? And then the Dalai Lama was also like, you know what, do whatever you want to be happy, you know? It's like, I guess as a whole, religion is becoming less intrusive, if you want to call it that.
I'd say that's society.
Society is becoming less intrusive. I guess that too. I mean, they are linked, right?
Changing. I think it's just society is changing, and all parts of society adapt it somehow. They either accept it or they fight against it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, religion was really cool, and we're probably going to see less and less of it over the next few years.
So I'll have to see. There is this, like I think Barnum and Pew study group, something like that. But they did a study, obviously, taking a look at around the world, like something like what's it called? A meta study, when you take a whole bunch of other studies and you put all the
I
data
think that's a
together.
meta study.
Yeah. I mean, they did
No
one of
idea what it's
those,
called.
and they did project higher numbers of not necessarily Christianity, but of religions.
Oh, really?
I think it does have to do with population also, because the population is estimated to go up to like 9 billion in a few years from now. So higher numbers. I think it's slightly less percentage, though. I could be wrong.
Very interesting.
But yeah, there will still be lots and lots of religious people. The majority, if we're taking past experiences and bringing it forward to be a somewhat accurate method of prediction. If you get what I'm saying.
I kind of do. I'm just not sure where you're going, because so far I'm just hearing the same thing I said, although way more informed. So as a society, we're moving away from religion, and it's still a very big part of us.
Oh, there was another thing I was going to say. Yeah. As a society, yeah, removing does look like that. Yeah.
So we've had a lot of religion and politics interaction in the past years. Then eventually they got separated more and more. And while it used to be that the state was relied or granted by religious leaders, nowadays it's often the other way around, with the state trying to enact a state religion, or taking control of those, or being able to just say this is a cult, this is a religion. So what do we think about religions standing in politics nowadays?
That's funny, because I just remembered that the Dalai Lama, you guys know the Dalai Lama, right?
Yeah, Gandhi.
He's this cool dude who keeps reincarnating. And then all these priests come together and they're like, "Oh my god, it's the next Dalai Lama." And then he goes and he trains to be this super cool spiritual leader since like the Bebe times. And usually it does work like that. You have the Dalai Lama, he dies, and then before he dies, he's like, "This is probably the general area where I'll be reborn." And then the other living like Buddhas are like, "Hey, dude, we totally had this dream about the next Dalai Lama. Let's go get him," And they present the next Dalai Lama with like a bunch of toys or something. And then if he picks out all the ones that belong to the previous Dalai Lama, it's like, "Hey, look, it's the next guy. We found him," And that's how it always worked. That's how it worked for like 14 Dalai Lamas. And now the Chinese government is saying like, "You know what? We're going to pick the next one."
Wait, what?
So, yeah. Apparently the Chinese government is like pressuring like the Tibetan monks like a hell of a lot, being like, we're definitely picking the next Dalai Lama. And in response to that, the Dalai Lama's like, "No, I'll just not reborn. I'll just refuse to reincarnate." Or something like that. It's hilarious. So yeah, I mean, the dilemma we have now might be the last one.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that's a fun example of politics getting super into religion. It's like they're going as far as to like threaten these, I guess, generations, I don't know what the better word is, of tradition, religion, I don't even know what else, the hard work almost, yeah.
Getting more powerful and religion is getting less powerful, as you can see, because I suppose a few centuries back the Dalai Lama could have just said no, there's no Chinese government, and it would have worked to some degree. And nowadays the only thing he can do is gonna say no, I'm just not gonna come back. I'm just gonna yeet myself out. So
I was gonna say it's nothing that hasn't happened before.
really,
Like going back to specifically the scientific revolution, other ideologies overtook the dominant Christian or religious views of the day. Like it's what humanity's been doing. We've been moving back and forth between other ideologies such as science and religion and state and religion, and I want to say that hipster vibe, like in Latin America, it was the 1900s when all the what was the hipster generation in America? Come on, you guys know American history better than I do.
where's our American history guest?
Something, screw the Indians.
Oh, okay. No,
Could you stop being racist for 5 minutes? We're talking
Well, I
5
mean, that all I remember is that like the settlers came in and they didn't like the Native Americans being all spiritual, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna take your land and put you into little camps where you can do your voodoo crap, but also introduce you into all the stuff that makes us sinners." something like that.
I'm going a bit farther away from that, but I'm just talking about like generational differences in how we view like basically authority. We have a strict generation that is more legalistic, that says this is our religion, we'll stick to it, we're gonna kill everything else. And then you have their kids, basically the next generation, it's like, that's wrong, we need to do it this way, we need to allow everything. And then you have their kids who are like, oh, but they allowed everything and society collapsed into hedonism. And like, we're going to be strict about everything. It's just how humanity's been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Tell me, when is the last time we've strayed from the path of hedonism and capitalism? Because regardless of when it was, it's been too long.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I personally feel like we've been going too much into capitalism and corporatism.
Yeah, so people like you're not the only one.
Do you guys agree, though?
No, it's just summer.
This whole cultural generation risen
Requires communist uprising.
Ooh.
Yeah, influenced by the internet. Basically, the whole world is turning into one big culture. You get what I'm saying? Not the whole world. But...
Yeah.
God, that's so disgusting.
And we're all like, oh, this is terrible how our older people did racism and capitalism and money. And then the whole world is going to change in the next few generations. Because a bunch of people like you are going to be the ones in power.
Hail.
At least I'm hoping. So a whole bunch of stuff is going to change.
I don't think people like me will be in power all that much.
I've seen the future. Come on, Paul.
You have?
I am the future.
Oh no.
Hi, future. How have you been?
I mean, I do agree to an extent to what Impy says, but
That I'm
then
gonna
again,
have
it,
nice.
you know what?
That I'm gonna have power, and it's very nice.
Well, people like you will have power because it's unavoidable if a lot of people share the same mentality. It's just a numbers game, right?
No.
Okay, well, Summer disagrees.
But it is not just a numbers game.
No, not just. But that's exactly what I'm afraid of, right? I mean, sure, we can have a bunch of forward-thinking people like Summer take over, but how far do we have to wait until they can take over? I mean, you'd like to think that we don't live in a world anymore, stuff like dictators or slavery or stuff like that, or like countries that exploit their people, but it still happens, right? I mean, how do you break that cycle? I mean, or get
Communist uprising.
It doesn't have to be communist, does it?
Kinda does.
Why? Just because it's anti...
No, communism is the ideology based on Karl Marx's theories, or largely based on them. And one of his proponents is the uprising of the larger, suppressed class of laborers. So yes, if the larger class of laborers is going to rise up against the small percentage of very wealthy people who kind of run most of the world nowadays, it's going to be communist.
Ugh.
And it's not going to be communist like communism is portrayed, hopefully. Hopefully it's going to be more socialist than communist. That's my personal preference. Oh, look at me talking politics on the internet. I'm smart.
Well,
Yes.
we're about to get banned from YouTube.
Talking about banned from YouTube. What do you guys personally believe in and why? We've covered that most part. I would like to hear a bit more from Heck about his beliefs and then try to dismantle them. And then the same for Impy and the same for me. Although, to be fair, it's not going to be possible for me because my beliefs have already been dismantled.
Ow, I bumped my nose. Stupid microphone stand. My beliefs. I mean, I already went over it. You gotta ask me a question.
Okay. You believe there's gods, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, why?
Why not?
Because why do you believe in certain gods and not all of them?
Well, I mean...
Do you just decide which ones to believe in, or do you have a basis?
Huh. Well, I mean... that's a difficult question to answer, I suppose. Because there's nothing really that would give me indication that one god is any less true than the other. That's why I say I just believe in gods in general, because, I'm assuming, or I'm presuming, or I am guessing that at the end of the day, all these gods we have and all these beliefs, they probably all converge on, certain points, similarities, and they'll probably end up being some big mix-mash, mitch-ma thingamadoo, where it's all the same, but also not the same. So yeah, I don't really believe in any like gods, like, oh, specifically these are real and the others. It's just, yeah, gods exist, probably
So
do. There's a bunch of
magic. How do you believe in your magic then? Is it not based on gods and stuff like that?
A lot of it is. Yeah, a lot of magic is based on gods and stuff. I mean, like I said, I met a Christian witch before. It's kind of weird because they'll never refer to themselves as witches. They'll just be like, yeah, and then I visited this person's dreams to tell them about Jesus. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty witchy.
People just going in your dreams, barging around and telling you about their religion. Yeesh.
Oh yeah, I mean that happens more than you think, right? And I just think that magic, I mean, people call it magic, and then you get this grand idea like, ooh, I'm going to be going around manipulating the air, throwing fireballs. It's like, no, you won't be,
Yeah, I also used to go out, breathe, and shoot fireworks.
Yeah, but you can't shoot. Summer, you know what I mean. Don't split hairs with me. The point is that magic at the end of the day is just, I don't know, people seek it out for reasons such as fixing their problems or trying to be happier in life. But
Oh wow! So it's like the things religion would do in your opinion, which you don't want to do. So
that's the funny part, right? That's what I believe. I believe is that you can't really access anything like magic, or let's just call it greater influence on the world, without being at peace within yourself. That's the irony. You seek it out to be at peace, but then you can't do it unless you are at peace. That's why any magic book you'll ever pick up, any beginner's guide on...
It's an irony.
Huh?
I don't think that's irony.
Is it not?
No.
Is it? Oh, well, whatever it is. That's why, whenever you pick up a book on witchcrafting, or you pick up a book on how to cast spells or whatever, they'll always start the same way. They'll always fall into this facet of self-help. Even if you do dress it up with fancy witchy words, at the end of the day, it's just like, go meditate for a bit every day because it's healthy for you. Be healthy, be able to solve your problems. And then when you're more at peace with yourself, you have a greater influence on the world. And sometimes that influence borders on supernatural, can't really explain how you did it kind of things, Then that's magic.
Friendship is magic.
No.
Oh, okay.
Friendship. I guess if you need friendship to be at inner peace, then yeah.
Yeah, that's something. I'll say all humans are social.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those are my beliefs. God probably exists in this.
From religion.
Huh?
How does this differ from religion? People also seek it out to be more at peace with themselves, and I'm pretty sure almost all religions tell you've got to be at peace with yourself. And they love
I don't know. I guess religion in this case is just more specific, I mean, what I'm saying is like, everybody.
Have you been smoking, young man?
Well, I mean, a religion, let's say Christianity or Buddhism, they both believe in different things. Like, one is like, hey, there is this one specific God who rules everything, and then the other one is
Christianity.
Yeah, the other one is like, haha, plums or something. I mean, to each their own, but it's not as inclusive as saying like, hey, everything's probably true and untrue to an extent. That seems like a bit of a cop out, but what isn't? Like, why does it have to be black and white?
It's just saying I'm sure some of these things are true and some aren't.
Well, yeah, just like everything in life, which makes it more silly to see it as black and white, right? Like, this is correct and everything else is wrong. I mean, that doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, what are the chances that specifically what you believe in is the correct thing out of like all the time that Earth has existed for?
Either it's correct or it isn't.
Yeah.
50-50 is a pretty good chance.
Well, it's not 50-50. I mean, parts of it can be true.
It's either right or it isn't.
Parts of it can be right and parts of it can be wrong. What's that then, Summer?
Well, that depends on which part you're looking at, obviously. But overall, you just sum it up.
No, I mean, you can't just sum it up. Yeah, it doesn't work. It's not a percentage game. There's no scoreboard at the end of life that tells you this is how correct your beliefs were.
That's what you think.
Oh, yeah. That's all religion and life after death accumulates in.
The wrong 50%.
You know what? Why don't we ask Impy on this?
Yes. What do you believe in and why?
Believe it. Sorry, I fell asleep there. I'm kidding.
Well, good morning. I mean, we all know what you believe in, basically.
I've been hiding. I'm secretly a satanist.
That's cool.
Satan
No.
worshiper.
Power to you, brother.
Why would you give power to Satanists?
Because maybe he can give me special fireball powers that
Why would
my
you give me special
beliefs aren't.
powers? I mean, I'm not gonna because I know you, but I could.
Tesla, no. Elon Musk did it.
He made a flamethrower, yeah.
Okay, I am a
Why?
Christian. Specifically Baptist. Baptist specifically because I was raised Baptist. I think I might eventually change that. But it's
Really?
okay, I'm echoing in. Which one of you is echoing?
Do I look like I'm echoing with my amazing
You kind of do.
setup?
Okay. Christian, Baptist. Might change in the future. Might be Lutheran. Might be Pentecostal. I don't know. Haven't decided. But specifically, why am I Christian? Well,
Oh,
partly.
I'll have to say I was more interested in your specific subcategory.
Why am I
And
Baptist?
because you were raised, that's good enough. Especially, I really liked how you said you might change it later on because it shows that you're still looking into those other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very nice thing.
There's just maybe Baptist doctrine is a little bit too loose. But it's kind of biblical. It's very complicated. And changing denomination isn't like, I'm totally changing my beliefs. It's just I think we should act a little bit more like this as opposed to this.
Yeah.
Imagine Imperfect being even more conservative.
Then I guess.
I don't think Heck cares.
Peace on earth.
Well, that's why, Summer, because you won't find many contemporary Baptists that are quite as, I'll say, uptight. Might not be the best word, but as you won't find many contemporary Baptists that are as uptight as I am. So it's kind of a situation where I'm in a group that may not be entirely suited for me. But it is suited for me in many respects. So it's all a learning experience. I'll figure it out.
And why Christianity?
Christianity. Well, because I feel it in my bones.
Well, that is very kinky.
Somebody inspect his bones.
They're full of Jesus.
Oh no.
Wait, does that mean when we put your decayed body in a bottle of in a body of water, it's going to turn into wine?
Exactly.
But how? You shouldn't be able to sink.
What?
You would just walk on the water.
My decayed body will be walking on the water?
Obviously. Only your bones.
You know what? What is this dark freaking storyline here?
Okay, now.
My family is forced to watch.
Have you ever considered different religions?
Okay, let's go back to I'm echoing again. I think it's Summer. How dare you?
It is.
Somewhere we're gonna murder you.
Could echo you to death. Okay, Christianity. I'm actually stealing a good bit from Ravi Zacharias. He's a Christian apologetics. Well, he was. All right.
What does he apologize for?
Christian apologetics. Apologetics is basically a defense for the faith. You have to give a reason for your faith. So, apologetics, Christian apologetics is, any of those typical questions like, why do you believe in God? Why do you believe in Christianity? Why do you think Christianity is the only one? Why does God allow evil? All those things and the answers to those things fall under the topic, the general broad study of apologetics. But Rabbi Zacharias, he was a really influential Christian apologetics.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the correct term, whatever. But
Apoplectic.
his basic 2 reasons for believing in Christianity were correspondence and coherence. As a belief system, in order to be the correct belief system, it has to correspond with the truth, and it has to be coherent with itself. And so far, that's pretty much everything I've seen. Like, it corresponds with the truth. Everything I've seen, humanity is screwed up. I have many examples from friends, family, etc., who are like, this thing was a miracle that happened. It's totally crazy. It shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And yes, Summer, you can debate that all you want, but it's just a lot of things happened. Pretty sure I've explained some of them on the podcast before, but whatever.
You have.
So in my experience, it corresponds with reality and the experiences of people around me. And coherence. All the arguments against Christianity, like as a belief system, like, oh, the Bible contradicts itself so much, and oh, I can't think of any other. Like, you're told to live this way,
God paradoxes, there's a bunch of those.
But you don't live this way. Well, so far, I haven't seen an actual legitimate, like, I accept all your premises, and it totally disproves Christianity.
I just heard a boat horn.
Is that on your side?
I live in, yeah, it was like outside my window. I live in Switzerland. There's no ocean here.
There's lakes.
There's lakes, but not ocean. What's the boat? What?
There is boats on lakes, heck.
Yeah, but not those. It was like one of those freighter, like, you know?
I think you've been teleported to the ocean.
Well, I'm gonna, this is concerning. Either that or I'm about to have like a horrible brain thing, and this will be my last podcast.
Wait, you mean you don't have one already?
This is my final message. Save the world. Goodbye.
Oh,
that is very nice.
Anyways, I interrupted.
Coherence. I would like to inquire further, Tyler. I take it you would like to convert as many people as possible to your belief system.
Like a virus.
Yes, ideas are wiry. We've talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, with caveats.
How would you go about doing this? For me, as an example, as someone who hasn't had those.
Yeah, convert him on air. We're live here with Imperfect and Summertime.
I'd enjoy it, but we'll get it after we talk about our last point. As someone who hasn't had the experiences of not coherency. Yes, coherency with truth.
As someone who hasn't had.
Yeah, I have not had any or heard of any of those experiences of miracles or humanity being screwed up outside of your tales, of course. And before that, is it actually the case that I always overuse this word? No. Do we have the option to choose what we believe in? Because I believe or think that there is no choice about believing things.
Well, that question deals with a few different topics of study. That'd be a long podcast. Well, first question: how would I go about converting someone?
No. That's the last question.
That
First
was the
question
last
is:
question.
do we have a choice in
So,
what
okay.
we believe and talking about those things, choosing and believing, and then how you would go about converting me?
Use your voodoo magic on him.
No.
Sorry, wrong denomination.
Use your
Christian
Christian magic on me.
magic.
Do we have a choice? No. See, but I'm going with the theological point of study. Do we have a
Yeah,
choice
I agree with
psychologically?
you.
Do we have a choice psychologically? Jury's still out on that. Because I'm going to say yes, we do have a choice psychologically. Theologically, it says it's. How do I say that? Theologically, if God wants you to be a Christian, you're going to be a Christian. Like, God calls people, and if he calls you, you come. Because when the ultimate creator of the universe says, I love you and I want you to be a part
That is a
of my
very
family.
kinky thing to say.
To be a part of my family.
That does not make it better.
Get your mind
No,
out of
I'm
the
very
gutter.
sorry for this respect. Yes.
He wants
I
us to be
get where you're
cool.
going though. You don't really want to refuse.
Biblically, you can't refuse. Now that's contended among a few different types of beliefs, Calvinism versus Arminianism, and there was one in the middle. But basically, I'm just going off. There's this Bible verse, a few Bible verses that back it up, and etc. It says, God has predestined those, and those he predestined, he called, and those he called, he sanctified, and those he sanctified, he saved. Something like that.
Got so picky.
Yes, you do.
Essentially. So, theologically, I don't believe we have a choice, etc. So, if that is sufficient for the first question, is it?
Yeah, good enough. I'll take
Okay.
Hex take second.
Okay, if we don't have a choice, then I can't convince you to believe in Christianity. Like, I can answer questions you have and be there for you if you want help or whatever. But me, I can't say, God, make this person believe, because God already chose you. God knows what he wants. So all I can do is pray that you being saved is in his will, is what he wants for you as a person. Again, that's contested, but that is what I believe at the moment. So all I can do is go out and talk to people, just start up discussions and have it in their minds that this is a thing. And then a little bit more complicated than that, there are basically personality tests, but for your spiritual gifts, because everybody has their own talents and stuff like that, etc. So some people are people.
Yes, some people are people. I'm shocked.
That is accurate to a certain degree.
A lot of people do have what's called a heart for evangelism. A lot of people do want to get out there and talk to people and like be that change in their lives and be that person that not convinces but helps them along to be saved. And then you have a lot of people like me who don't feel a calling toward evangelism, but who know a lot of stuff, who like as a spiritual gift, mine would be knowledge and teaching.
That's what you think.
Summer, don't
Yeah,
immediately crap all over it. Wait until he finishes to
mean-
crap all over it.
He's not wrong. That is what I think, because that's what I've observed. It's an a posteriori truth.
We have mentioned that all the time, and I still forget what it means.
Read Kant.
Are you telling me to read Kant or to read Kant?
Both.
Okay. Back. Nah.
Kant was a very famous book writer.
Yeah, it's yes. I believe I'm good at knowledge and teaching. So those are my gifts. There were some others. I forget them at the moment. Oh, and serving.
Music?
Giving. Well, the spiritual gifts, like, no, music isn't one of them. Like, specific talents aren't in there. Like, the Bible doesn't mention you're good at
You're gonna be
IT.
a cool windsurfer.
You're gonna be good at skateboarding, and that's how you're gonna evangelize. No, it's just, it has to be very broad because there's billions of people that are trying to figure out how they can be a part of the body of Christ, how they can be a part of the family of Christ. So it's more along the lines of, are you someone who's smart and can teach other people? Are you someone who's good talking to other people? Are you comfortable giving a lot of your money? Are you comfortable, and do you have the time to come to church and help set up chairs or whatever? It's just a lot of different things that can help the body of Christ, the church,
The
function.
body.
The blood, the body. Yeah. So yeah, my spiritual gifts are teaching and knowledge, which aren't and like, I'm terrible at talking to people. Very bad.
Very
But
good for the podcast.
Yeah, and I like to think I'm good at getting people to understand things, because I just have the mind. I believe I have the mind for, like, management and seeing problems and bringing them to light. So that would be my spiritual gift, and I'd be the one who teaches the people who gotta evangelize. That would be my place in the body of Christ. So is it I don't think, I mean, generally, I don't think it's my calling to go out and be an evangelist. But I could teach people and know things and teach them things all day long. Any questions?
Yes.
Do you understand me?
Oh, absolutely. I have a good question, too. Because you mentioned those gifts we're given, and I take it those are something we have from the beginning onwards. So that kind of puts everything on nature, and there is a great deal of nurture, and people can grow themselves, get talents that they did not have beforehand. What is your take on that?
Yes. I agree.
There we go. We're done here.
All right, and so
Nature.
those talents we can acquire, is it always within our given gifts, the ones we acquire, or is it free to choose but not our gift?
No, it's not like a set in stone, this is how you must act. It's just, hey, you tend towards being this certain way at this time. So this is a way you can benefit the rest of us in the church, in the body of Christ.
And
if you
outside, I
wanna,
presume.
yeah, if you want to change, if you have grown as a person and you've learned more things, and now you feel like it's your time to go out and you really want to talk to people and evangelize, go for it, man. That's good. We want you to be changing as a person and growing, maturing. Does that answer your question?
It does, yes.
Unleashing the inner Power Ranger.
Heck, your turn.
My
What is
turn.
What is Heck talking about?
Well,
Do
you said
any of us
improve
really know?
yourself, and I
His
said unleash
mind,
your
his
inner Power Ranger.
genius is beyond comprehension.
You guys were
Anyways,
speaking over each other, so I have no idea what just happened.
something Power Rangers. Which part do you want me to respond to first?
I want you to give your own take and then respond.
Well, I mean, you gotta remind me what the original question was.
No.
No? Okay.
Yes. I'm trying to remember the wording.
You don't need the exact wording.
I kind of do.
You just have to tell me the general direction.
I'm only thinking about the second question, which was about converting people, and we've covered that. So I'm trying to remember the first question.
I can totally convert people.
No.
What?
What was my first question?
Do people have a choice?
Yes. Choice in believing.
People have a choice in believing.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Believing as in just believing anything?
He's gone, so there's no use asking anything.
Well, I guess, do people have a choice in believing? Yeah, they sure do. I switched between my beliefs a bunch, you know?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
does that mean I didn't truly believe them? Ooh. I mean,
Dun dun.
I think most people get to choose what they believe in. You know, you're like, hey, I can align myself with this. But then again, you know, I don't think any pre existing belief will ever fully encompass what one person thinks or feels. So really, it's up to the person themselves to, you know, take what they think is right and to add onto that, you know, from different experiences to develop their own belief. And that will be their belief and that will be what they think is correct, be that adhering to a religion or not, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, in essence, people have the choice whether to believe in a pagan religion or not, like you.
Yeah. You know, or if at a religion at all, you know, you can just be spiritual or do whatever. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think in life, you know, it's just about being happy. If you're not happy, then why the hell are you alive? You know?
Hear that, everybody? If you're not happy, might as well not be
Why the hell
alive.
are you alive?
Listen, because I'm working towards happiness. It takes time.
But if you aren't happy, why are you even alive?
You know what? Addendum to that. You're not happy, go out and try and be happy. Because the point of living is to be happy. I don't mean that temporary, like, let me do a bunch of drugs and sleep around kind of happiness. Because it's temporary, and then afterwards you feel more depressed. And then you're like, what did I do wrong? That's what you did wrong. Stop being stupid. Anyways, yeah, you missed what I was saying. I totally made an impassioned speech about beliefs, and Impy cried.
I did. It was magical.
I know I was there. I was having a breakdown. I couldn't leave.
And, you know, it wasn't actually, you know, Impy being touched by my words. It was my weird satanic pagan powers. But yeah.
Burned my eyes out.
Anyways, as to what Impy was saying, I forgot. What was the main point? Jog my memory.
Well, I think you answered the question if people have choice.
Yeah.
I think we should. Do you believe you should convert people to what you believe?
There we go. Yeah. No, I don't think it's my place to cast judgment over anybody, you know? Especially not
Converting people isn't casting judgment.
Well, you are though. You're converting you're casting judgment by saying what you're doing is not right and this is the better thing to do, you know?
No.
Then it is. What is it then if it's not judgment?
It is saying, I think this is the best way, and I want everybody to get the best way to do things.
Yeah,
And
by saying that, you're
maybe I'm
judging
wrong,
the
it's
other
like,
ways to not be
no,
as
you're
good.
not. You could be, but you don't have to be.
I think there are judgmental ways of going about it.
Yeah,
Certainly.
well, I mean, at the end of the day, my point is, I don't think I would ever straight up be like, dude, don't stop. You know, I wouldn't go up to Impy and be like, hey, stop, just stop, go fix your life. You know, as far as I'd go with like the whole would I convert somebody, I just give them life advice, you know? You just share your own experiences with the person, you share your beliefs, and it's up to them if they want to pick them up or not, you know? It is similar to the whole like if you're meant to be a Christian, you're probably gonna be a Christian thing, you know? If you want to take my advice, then you will, and if you don't, then you won't, you know? You can't go around in life hinging your thoughts on other people so much and thinking about what they will do after you leave them or this and that, you know? You give what you have to give, and if the world takes it or not is up to them. And you just do your own thing and go be happy.
I'll take that. Also, I'm gonna take a call.
A call?
Wow, he just left us.
Oh,
He's
he
just
meant like call in real life. What do you think about what I said, Impy? This is the conversion wars now. I'm gonna make you pagan and you're gonna make me Christian. Go.
You suck.
You suck.
Oh, you're right, man.
Dude. There you go. I have become Christian.
And I don't believe in anything.
Is that what I sound like? uh,
I think as a Christian response to that, that's detrimental though, because all these people that are living not knowing Christianity, not knowing Jesus as their savior,
mm,
they're not going to a good place when they die. And that's like the whole crux of the matter. Like we care about people. We're supposed to love our neighbors as we love ourselves.
yeah.
Agape love. So when I love my neighbor, well, I don't want them to suffer. I want them to be a part of this greatness that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And this great community, this
But
interesting way of life.
you don't want to suffer either, right? And that's what happens in modern day society. Maybe not with religion or this and that, but with the way we interact with our friends' issues or our neighbors' issues, you know? We put so much time and energy into it that we start getting drawn in when our efforts
You mean drawn to us?
swear to God, when our efforts don't yield results, you know? So if God truly has a plan and if he has picked out people to be Christian beforehand, then all you must do is continue living with your beliefs and continue doing what you're doing, and you will meet the people you need to meet who should or can be converted to Christianity. And it will happen as it happens because it is all parts of God's plan, right? And then if it doesn't happen, then that's also part of it. So you don't have to worry about it, which is in essence what I've been saying.
There are people who believe something along the lines of that. It's that if God called them, then they'll come to us, so we don't have to go to them.
Yeah.
Which really makes no sense to me because God chooses to work through us, his people.
Mm-hmm.
So people who haven't heard aren't going to hear. Like it's
Perhaps they weren't to hear.
It's this thing called divine revelation versus natural revelation. Natural revelation is like all the people who looked up at the night sky and said, "There's something more there."
Mm-hmm.
It's what we believe led to basically a lot of the other religions where they're like, "Ooh, she birthed the universe, and the waters are her milk, stuff like that. Because they see something more. They feel something more. That's what we call natural revelation.
Mhm.
Whereas divine revelation is specificity. It's Jesus died for us. He rose 3 days later, and he is the propitiation for our sins. That's like divine revelation. That's specificity. It's what actually needs to be there in order for salvation. Where was I going with that?
Something.
Yeah. So we need people need to hear that specific stuff before they can accept, before they can believe. So,
but some people need to hear that and some people don't, right? Wouldn't it also be part of God's plan that there are people like you who believe that it's bull to let people come towards them and then you go find them and then they're converted? I mean, at the end of the day, it still adheres to the whole, you believe what you believe, you go out, you do your thing, and it'll all work out,
partially, but the thing is, we can't know. I have no idea if either of you is going to be saved or not. Like,
yeah, and that's fine, right?
I
can assure you I'm going to be saved.
all I can do is continue trying, like being there and going for you, and then going out and trying to reach people. I think the statistic I heard was people who aren't involved in the church and whatnot, didn't grow up, they need an average of hearing the gospel, which is Jesus died, rose again, etc., all that other stuff dealing with Christianity. People need to hear the gospel 8 times before they're saved.
How many times are we up
Say
to?
it 8 times right now.
Save us, Impy. Save us. You need a divine sign, we'll hear it. No, I'm not doing that.
Right. So people need to experience something like that 8 times in general. This statistic I heard. So how are they going to hear that 8 times if no one's telling them? Like, someone's got to tell them.
Yeah, then it will be people like you, and that will still be part of the plan.
Yeah. Basically, I was just enumerating on your original point.
In conclusion, everything is going just as planned.
Everything's
And
going
I
as planned.
believe that is all
What? Hey,
we have for today. I would ask
Summer.
for you guys not to interrupt me.
Summer.
You will get your time to speak. Please go ahead.
Summer. You were all like, "Oh, we're done now. We got nothing left."
Yes, so we kind of are, though.
You were all like, "Oh, I'm gonna be smooth and not say anything today."
I have said more than enough. I have not heard either of you talk about politics, which I'm kind of grateful for, because I really do not want to get into politics.
Hitler, something, waffles.
Yeah, talking about that, you're not going to come over this year, unfortunately. Heck, are you still going to come over?
Stop. Yeah, you should go visit each other, but stop getting off topic. Yes, heck, you're going. End of discussion.
Are you? Wait, is he? How do you know?
Oh, I
just told him to.
Oh, wow. Since when do you have that kind of authority?
So, Summer.
Kind of, I suppose we could give you that kind of authority.
So,
Hi,
Summer,
Tyler. I'm listening.
What beliefs? What do you personally believe and why?
That is a very good question. I would like to start by defining what God is. No.
What is bearded white man, pure white, only white man, old man as well, no woman, old white man. Yes.
Okay. And what about it? I believe there exists old white man. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's God.
Point taken. Case solved.
I'm still
What
waiting.
am I supposed to believe in?
No, you were supposed to find God, right? Isn't that what you wanted?
No, what I really want is to get more time out of my day.
Well, then you should have rethought this podcast.
Yeah, tell us.
And I'm leaving you guys to this. It has been a joy, but I can't afford it.
You can. What
No.
do you believe? What do you
I
believe?
believe I am wasting way too much time here.
Well, I didn't ask you about that. What do you believe about religion?
But I believe religion was today's topic, was it not?
But what do you believe about it?
I believe it is complicated.
And what else?
There's lots of it.
And what else?
There's lots of critiques of it.
Ah. Have those critiques influenced you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm reading one and it's a great read, although it is also a horrifying book. And I'm still waiting to get to the part where he actually talks about religion. I'm not too sure whether he's going to go into it.
Probably in like volume 4.
There's only 3 books.
Exactly.
Oh, snap.
That was a really smart play. So I just defined book 1 as book 4 because I'm going to read it twice.
Oh.
No, well, I'm going to try to. Maybe I'll just quit. Have you read him?
Why does Summer always like to dodge the topic?
It is so much fun.
It's part of his religion.
Is it fun? Because it's huge.
I'm sorry, Impy. Why are you asking questions about me personally? Would you not please stay on topic for just a bit? Stop being so shifty.
It's a huge waste of time in an hour-long podcast.
It's because Summer has radical ideas and very gruesome ways of wanting to put them through. And if he reveals them here on the podcast, the FBI will...
I enjoy listening to you guys more, and we usually run out of time.
Wow.
As we are doing today, we're 2 hours in this podcast.
All I'm hearing is excuses from Summer's end of the table.
You should get your ears checked. What do I believe about religion?
Well, you're atheist. Why?
No.
What are you, Summer? What? Spill the beans.
I wish I could tell you. I have no idea what I believe.
Impy, get the gun.
I do believe some things. One of those that I didn't have a choice what I believe in. I'm pretty sure such a thing as free will is just fundamentally impossible as we think of it. And so going from that and from other sources, I don't think there is any possibility of there being a choice of what we believe in. So that's my core thought. As for religions, I'm pretty sure that either that if there exists something beyond, that all of our ideas and views of it are twisted and shifted, so there's no real religion which can reflect the true face of divinity.
Why do you believe that?
Because it's a priori. And a priori things cannot be experienced.
We should go into that at a later time. But here's a question I've been meaning to ask you both.
Yes.
At the time. What sort of experience would you have to have in order to believe in Christianity?
What would we need to have?
Yeah, what experience would you personally need to have in order to say, okay, I believe that God is God and that Jesus died and...
Ooh, this is fun. I actually have a good answer.
Ooh,
Do not
okay.
say amnesia.
Being
Okay.
bonked on the head.
Summer first.
Why me? Okay. I would probably need a very lengthy conversation.
Very lengthy conversation with whom?
God.
It's irrelevant with whom. A lengthy conversation that clears up my beliefs and my thoughts, and that's all I really need.
he just needs a conversation in general. He's so lonely.
Yes.
That would be like a year-long conversation.
Yeah, and then you
So,
got it.
yeah.
You know, he's
Probably.
Christian.
The other thing, I could also take a book. I could answer my questions. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be very easy to find either of those. I don't know whether there exist any of those.
Hey, have you heard of the Bible?
The Bible is insufficient.
Have you read it?
Yes?
Bibele.
The whole thing?
No.
Boobel.
Well, the Holy Bible.
Bubbly boobly.
Saying it's a
I've
book
just read
that...
parts of it in school because I had nothing else to do in breaks.
Oh, in school. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the entire book that defines the religion, as it were. So you should try and read it.
I already know it's not going to be enough there because I can't even interpret it correctly. I'd have to be believing in it from the start, have studied the book and understood all of its nuances and its responses to critique, which is why the conversation is better, or a book which deals with my specific questions and answers them in a satisfactory manner.
That would be an interesting book.
And not confusing. The issue here is, of course, that after I've been converted, there is always the option of me changing beliefs again. Because as we know, it has already happened, so it can happen again since there's nothing standing in the way of it. And that means that depending on how easy it was to get me into the faith, it's probably going to be of similar ease to get me out of it.
So you're saying it'd be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Oh, yeah. Heck has no idea what we're talking about.
Yes. Jokes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm going to need to get all the way off my back about this conversion thingy right now.
All right,
so
I'll
yeah.
get all the way off.
Thank you.
For this last question. So that's what it would. That's like the baseline of what it would take.
Yeah.
I believe. Just all your
My thoughts being cleared.
Thoughts being cleared. Even though you don't apply that in any other realm of your life.
No, I applied in every realm I try to apply it in every realm of my life.
I mean, the basic there is science. Like, there's so many unanswered questions. But we still believe that gravity exists. Gravity again.
Gravity.
Gravity's
Strong.
stupid and I don't like it.
We still believe in the forces. We have no idea why they're there or what they're there for. I'm saying there are so many unanswered questions there that you're never going to know.
I'll try, but yes.
Yeah.
Also, I don't have any thoughts about gravity.
You have no thoughts.
No, I have a lot of thoughts about gravity.
You went from having no thoughts to many thoughts in a very brief span of time.
Not thoughts. I don't have many. I don't think about gravity much.
It's just there.
Now, give me like 4 more years, then I can start to think about gravity.
All right, I'll ask you then.
Cool.
I was saying that there is no system of belief that can ever answer all the questions.
Yes, I just need my personal ones answered.
Okay. It would be interesting. But I think that's the baseline. If you experience some like super freaking ridiculous impossible miracle, would that substitute for that?
It highly depends on the miracle, but probably not.
Someone close to you got involved in a car accident and their head was blown off, and then you turned around and it was on video evidence, and then you turn around and like they're standing next to you and they're fine.
What?
That would be very confusing, and I would have to ask them what happened. And regardless of the answer they gave, it would probably be my next field of research.
Be like, so I went up to heaven and God said that it wasn't my time yet.
God said, dude, I tried to hit the free Slurpee button.
That would be very interesting.
Decapitation by car
not
accident.
convert me because it wouldn't answer my questions, but it would probably lead to me being converted, because if something like this happens, I'm definitely going to quit my current field of study and go into that.
All right.
If you have to go to decapitation to try and convince somebody of Christianity, I think you're reliving the crusade day.
Decapitation was just the most extreme, impossible example I could think of. So there.
It would probably do it in the long term.
Fascinating. Well, moving on to Heck.
How am I gonna top decapitation?
What would it take for you to believe?
Do you want like a list or just some general ideas?
What would it take? A
very big gun pointed at you.
How dare you? I have two old white teachers. Well, I had two old white teachers. And both of them started out as like non-Christians, atheists, or whatever the heck. And then in their lifetime, they came to be like, yo, God's pretty cool. And because I didn't have much to do in school, because I was pretty much a genius, I just spent my time hanging out with them, because I was like, man, this is interesting. Why did you go to Christianity? Because one had been a Christian for like 30 years, and the other one had been a Christian for like 3 years. You know? So I was like, okay, so what happened? And it's fun because they both had like these experiences to them, which to them were life-changing, you know? It's like the one of, I think the older one said that she had a terrible relationship with her mother, and her boyfriend at the time was Christian, and then she didn't stay with her mother because she's being too obnoxious or something. Her mother brought like her boyfriend home or something like that, you know? So she went to stay with her boyfriend, that teacher that I had. And then she said that, you know, during the night at that Christian house, she had a dream about like a super specific Bible verse and like something to do. And she's like, wow, that's so weird. I never read the Bible. And then she went downstairs, and then the family had a Bible like on the dining table or one of those side tables, and it was flipped to that specific page with like the specific words, and she's like, that's it, I'm going full on Christian. You know? And then she did.
Pretty typical.
Yeah, I would never let that kind of experience change me, because I think that's my other teachers.
Suspicious.
I would be suspicious of, you know, like Christian household, it's a specific Bible verse that's already there. You know, who knows what they were doing in the middle of the night? I'm like in deep sleep. They're like, Pasha, 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 Jesus.
Okay.
That is the image of Christian.
But yeah, the other teacher had a more interesting experience where she was like hardcore atheist. She's a pretty smart person too, you know, which I respect.
Stop relating those two things.
Huh? Well, I mean,
go on.
You have to be a little skeptical with this kind of stuff, you know? Like the other teacher, she's just like, lol, Bible, let's go. You know? And this one was a bit more cynical, which makes her being convinced more convincing to me. You get what I mean? So she was just...
You trust people whom you look up to more.
Yeah, I suppose you can put it that way. So what happened was she was like hanging out with a friend, and
I'm
then
shocked.
yeah, I'm shocked that she had. No, just kidding. And then they were just at a cafe or something, and then this dude came up. He's like a homeless man or something, and he just started like talking, and apparently he had like the smoothest voice. And then she looked up into his eyes, and they were like this eerie like shade of like gold or something. And then he just started like making all these terribly accurate deductions about her life, and she's just like, who the heck are you? And then he just I don't know what he said, but it wasn't anything like, hey, I'm God. No, he's just chill. And then she had like some bad neck pain or something for ages, and he's like, hey, can I check that? And then she's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever, I'll just trust you, stranger. And then he went ahead. He did the magic Jesus touchies, and then her neck pain was gone. And then they spent the
That's
rest
very
of the
nice.
afternoon hanging out with the guy, and he was just super chill. And he's just constantly like, "Oh, if you believe in God, stuff will work out for you. You know, it's like it's the right thing to do." And then she's like, "Pasha, that's not right. You're a crazy old guy." And then like throughout the night, like just crazier, more random stuff happened to the old guy. Like they wanted to buy him groceries, because he's like a homeless man. And he was like, I don't have a bag to carry these groceries in. So they walked into the store, and there was like a random bag lying there, and they brought it to the store clerk. It's like, oh, okay, there's this random bag here. Did somebody lose it? It's like brand new. Hey, can we buy it for this guy? And she's like, we don't actually, we don't sell this kind of bag, so you can just have it for free. And then he took the bag and he got the groceries. And then, my teacher was still concerned. She's like, oh, you got a place to stay tonight, Are you going to be all right? And he's fine. And like some random drunk guy walks up. He's like, hey, you want to come to this party with us? And the homeless guy was just like, yeah, sure, I'll go. And that was it, I'm sure he said some final last inspirational words before he mysteriously disappeared. I don't really remember that part of the story. I just
Blaze it or
remember,
phase it.
hey, I would like to meet cool old people who tell me about life and then heal my back pain.
You have back pain?
Sometimes I exercise now, so not that much anymore. But
Okay.
yeah, that's also my point. At this rate, I'm probably going to solve all of my issues before crazy old divine intervention could come along, you know? But if I had to say if I needed something to convert me, it would have to be something like that. That's kind of like crazy, like, ooh, I don't think I'd be as shaken up as she was by that experience, you know? But
I
then
think
again, I
you
also didn't experience it, so who am I to say? And then B, I would also have to have the clear indicator that this is Christianity. Because otherwise I'd just be like, lol, crazy old gods. Who might that have been,
Yeah. So, yeah, something specific and something supernatural, basically.
Yeah. So now Impy's flying over here, dressing up, putting in his golden contacts, and reading up on my life.
You went to school, didn't you, child?
I'll have to say, thinking back on it, this ties nicely into the question we had for you: what it would take for you to break or make your belief, and that was finding aliens.
Yeah, it was one of them. Yeah. As a religious person, there are certain things that would totally negate the foundations of my belief. And one of
And
them.
they are far higher standards than the one we have set. Or at least the ones
Really?
I remember. I don't know whether
What?
you mentioned others. Pardon me?
Really? They're higher?
Yes, I think
Finding
it's gonna be more probable than I'll have a lengthy conversation about these things and get converted instead of us finding aliens.
Yeah, maybe I'll meet God tomorrow. Who knows? But I don't go outside much, so God isn't really playing with the best cards.
Yeah, you go outside good enough.
Maybe summer will be the first. Be chilling and talking. Then some old guy with golden eyes is gonna show up, and start judging us, and I'm gonna like, wait.
So make sure that when you guys meet up, you're at a coffee shop or wherever they were.
And you have neck pain.
Like that. It's like a coffee shop, yeah.
Yeah, and make sure to sleep wrong so that you have neck pain.
Yeah, make sure to so kind strangers can heal it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of the story, MP? Does that sound like a bona fide Christian mabub?
See, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Ooh.
So it's totally a possibility. Like, there's nothing that says it's not gonna happen. I can say in Middle Eastern countries where Islam is the dominant religion and where if you're found to be Christian, you're killed or excommunicated.
Whoa,
or-
really? What the hell?
What?
Is that true? What? Do we still have that?
Bruh.
I
That's
thought
not
that
just-
was like a big
Yes.
haha, you know?
No.
What?
There's still many countries like that.
What?
They're actually in the Christian community when we're doing missions, there are like designated red countries. Where,
What?
like India, China, and Middle Eastern countries where you can be killed. And if not killed, you will most likely be put in jail or face a lot of resistance from the people in power.
What?
And even
That's
the
crazy.
general population.
I thought that was all of me. Who cares nowadays? I mean, honestly, who has
Lots
the
of people.
I mean, who has the energy to? You're just sitting around and you're like, I hate you because you believe in a different God. Like, what kind of a freaking child do you have to be? Like, grow up. I can't.
Many people. Okay, what I was saying is that in Middle Eastern countries, Muslim, where they're gonna kill you for being Christian, etc.
Uh-huh.
There was like recorded instances of hundreds of Muslims just like having dreams of Jesus and like
Uh-huh.
Christian Jesus,
Uh-huh.
like comforting and saying things to them.
What skin color did he have?
I
It was
can't
the
ask, I
CIA
can't answer that.
Jesus beam.
Yes, totally. But there are a bunch of people having dreams, and that's how they're being reached by God. And like these people are having dreams and then converting, and they're having to hide it, and they're meeting up in secret churches, and
So
they're
you're
getting
telling me
secret
to go to
Bibles.
sleep. Okay, good night.
I'm saying become Muslim. Live in the Middle East.
And go to sleep.
And we'll
Okay.
see. We'll see. Well, it'll heighten your chances of it happening.
Will it? It'll also heighten my chances. I mean, I
Dying.
guess everything else you just said,
Yeah.
death.
Death. Yeah, that's pretty much the worst, I think. And there's a lot of examples like that. And then you have examples like what happened to my mother. And this one's just a small thing, but one day she came home and in the mail was just a check for $1,000. No, it wasn't a check. It was an actual $1,000. There was just $1,000 sitting in the mailbox. She's like, "What? What? Where? What?" Because she wasn't expecting $1,000. It's like $1,000. Like, oh dang, this is pretty nice. Thank you, Jesus. But then she didn't spend it. She was she was just wondering, like, what do I do with this? So her and my father prayed about it. They were like, what are we gonna do with this? She went to church, obviously Sunday. So she was at church, and then she apparently just heard this voice saying, "Go talk to that person over there." It was a specific person. So talking to the specific person, and she went and talked to that specific person. Over the course of the conversation, it came out that this lady that she was talking to needed like $990 to pay her mortgage, and she didn't have that money. I was like, well,
Why didn't she have the money?
Because she gave it to some random person and it ended up in their mailbox.
And then somehow telepathically communicated with my mother that she wanted her money back, minus $10.
Yeah, finder's fee.
this lady was like, had broke down, started crying, and it was like, I need the money. I'm gonna lose my house if I can't pay my mortgage. And mom was like, here you go, sweetie. She didn't say it like that, but so she gave her $1,000 that she had just found in a mailbox. And like, I'm quite a bit more willing to attribute that to something supernatural than random chance, because I don't know the probability of that happening in any universe, but it seems very unlikely that such a
Event.
such a chain of events could ever happen. But Summer's over there, like, probably trying to compute the odds.
No, I'm not.
Good. But yeah, I'm just saying that's just something weird that I can't explain. That is I can only attribute it to something supernatural.
Mm.
The
Like,
odds, by the way, are 1 in 7,533.
Exactly.
I mean, plus minus 2, but who cares?
I mean, I guess I'm just more cynical than that. I'd see that, I'll be like, what? Somebody's trying to set me up for a drug deal. I'd pull out my piece and I'd
shoot the money.
Be like, you ain't getting me today, FBI, and then that would be that.
Yes,
exactly.
pulling out weapons and yelling at the FBI is gonna make sure that you're not more in danger.
Jesus is setting up in heaven, being like, how many more thousands of dollars do we have to send this guy?
See, yeah, you would have tossed that money away, and then you would have gone to church and spoken to that lady and been like, well, good luck with your mortgage.
Anyway,
see you later. Have a nice day, I guess, being homeless.
Yeah, I guess.
You wouldn't have gone to church.
Oh!
Yeah.
Actually, this is funny. There is this is like the closest I got to like one spiritual Jesus experiences. It's like I was super depressed, and I was in Finland, and this was like 6 to 9 months ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just waiting in the city for thing. And this weird guy came up to me, and he just introduced himself. He's like, hey, I don't know what it was. It was a biblical name, which I only realized after, which is why I was like, dang, I was kind of beating myself up over that. His name was like a thing, or what's a biblical name? That's like
Gabriel?
No, it wasn't Gabriel.
Michael? Lucas?
No,
Abraham,
Oh, wait,
Abram,
what's
Isaiah,
the Finnish
Zechariah.
name?
I think it was something like Abraham or a. It was one of the two, because I remember it started with an A. And he's just like, dude, can I have $10? Because no, it was like $20. Can I have $20? Because I want to go out clubbing with my girlfriend, and the entrance fee is $20. And I was like, no, Abraham, what? I'm not going to give you $20 so you can go clubbing with your girlfriend. And he's like, dude, you can totally come with. I'm like, no, Abraham, I'm meeting friends. I'm not going to give you $20 so me, you, and your girlfriend can go out clubbing. And then I left. And he was super nice about it. He was just like, oh, totally, I'll come back here to give you the money. We're like in a public square as well, which is what made me suspicious. I was just like, no, what? We'll never see each other again. I'm not getting this money back. And that was that. And then I walked over and I went to like King or something where I met my friends. And then I was like, oh crap, that guy's name was Abraham. He was totally some Jesus dude. God damn it, I should have just gone shopping with him.
What?
Bet I would have met God or something.
What? What? What?
And that was my closest experience I ever had with
a guy to be homeless over $20.
That was my closest experience I had with like something supernatural that was like Christian thing.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. We'll go with that for now.
What? You don't think it's authentic enough?
I mean, I'm not saying that Jesus wouldn't want you to go clubbing with him, but I'm kind of saying that.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought after as well, but we'll never.
I think if you were meant to go, you would have gone.
Yeah, I guess we can see it like that. Maybe I needed those 20. I did feel bad about like having things, so I think I just gave it to a street performer after.
Hey, maybe it saved that street performer's life. Who
Yeah,
knows?
Maybe it made them into the next Justin Bieber. He also.
True. You could have doomed us or saved us all. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh well.
Was his girlfriend at the very least called Babraham?
No, she wasn't there. That made me even more suspicious. It's just some random guy who walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, my name's Abraham."
Yeah. All right.
That was weird.
I believe we are done for today either way.
God works in mysterious ways.
And so my last question, not only for you, but for all of our viewers, is for tonight. Should I study Russian or should I study linear algebra so I can give my course tomorrow easier?
Study theology,
They're
you
both terrible.
person.
I say toss a coin, and then if it lands on neither, go take a walk outside. And if you see a bird at a 45-degree angle to you, take a sharp left turn and dive.
But if it's a crow, then take a sharp right turn and dive.
There you go. And also, if at any point you accidentally fence, I need you to turn 90 degrees and continue walking in that direction to the best of your ability.
How about instead I'll just go study linear algebra now?
Well, now you've forgone the best way to meet God, which I guess God
the best way to meet God.
Maybe we were meant to stay.
I'm not. I'm not sure our massive audience of many viewers can answer
hi,
that
Ellie.
question for you. I
Didn't
don't
Ellie
think she's
stop
listening
watching?
anymore.
No, she's just busy with exams.
Yeah, I'm sure, Ellie. Who's your new podcast, huh?
Is it Audacity? Audacity?
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you?
We will sue.
You have the audacity.
Haha,
Choose a new podcast.
All right, guys. It has been
many hours.
Yes, I wanted to say a pleasure, but okay, it's been a lot of time. I'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.